The first day of school always carries a strange mix of feelings. Some students walk in excited, some are a little nervous. Seniors might be feeling pretty confident with just 1 year left, while others are quietly wishing summer had stuck around a bit longer. I remember that feeling. When I was young and living overseas, my mother woke me up at 4:30 every morning for extra lessons before work. I wasn't always happy about it. But looking back, those mornings point to something important. Because today, the real conversation is about education and what this year asks of you. Over the years, people have talked about education from a lot of different angles. Teachers are often reminded of their responsibility to inspire students, to challenge them, to push them to learn more than they thought they could. Parents are expected to keep their kids on track, to make sure homework gets done, to turn off the television once in a while and make room for studying. And leaders talk about their responsibility too, setting higher standards for schools, supporting teachers and principals, trying to fix the places where students aren't getting the opportunities they deserve. All of that matters. Good teachers matter. Supportive parents matter. Strong schools and policies matter. But here's the truth that sometimes gets overlooked. Even if you had the most dedicated teachers in the world, even if your parents were cheering you on every single day, even if every classroom had the best books, the newest computers, and every possible resource, none of it would make the difference people hope for if students themselves don't step forward and take their roles seriously. Because at the end of the day, education isn't something that can be done to you. It's something you have to participate in. It starts with the simple things. Showing up. Not just physically sitting in a chair, but actually being present. Paying attention when a teacher is explaining something, even when the topic feels a little tough or unfamiliar. Listening to the adults in your life, parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, people who have walked a little farther down the road and want to help you avoid mistakes they've already seen. And then there's the part that nobody can do for you. The effort. The quiet moments when you decide to finish the assignment instead of putting it off. The decision to review something again because you didn't quite understand it the first time. The willingness to try even when the answer doesn't come easily. That's where education really happens. It's easy to point to the system. Easy to say the school should do more, or the teachers should try harder, or the rules should be different. But the truth is much simpler and much more personal. Your education ultimately depends on you. And that's really what this whole conversation comes down to. Not what someone else is supposed to do, not what the system promises, but the responsibility each student carries for their own learning, and the choice every single day to show up and do the work it takes to grow. Here's something that's easy to forget when you're sitting in a classroom staring at an assignment that doesn't seem very exciting in the moment. Every single student has something inside them that matters, a talent, a strength, a way of thinking that the world needs. The tricky part is that most people don't discover what that thing is right away. And that's where education comes in. School isn't just about memorizing facts or passing tests. It's one of the first places in life where you get the chance to try different things and slowly discover what you might be capable of. Sometimes the ability is already there, just waiting for the right moment to show up. Maybe there's someone sitting in class who could become an incredible writer one day, someone who might eventually write books or articles that people all over the world will read. But that talent might not reveal itself until a teacher assigns an English paper, and suddenly the words start flowing in a way that surprises even them. Or maybe there's someone who has the mind of an inventor, someone who could one day help design a new piece of technology, develop a medicine that saves lives, or solve a problem that people thought was impossible. But that discovery might begin with something small, like a science project or a classroom experiment that sparks curiosity. Then there are those who might grow into leaders, the kind of people who guide communities, shape policies, or help bring people together when things feel divided. But that path might begin quietly too, through a debate team, or a student government meeting, or the first time someone speaks up for an idea they believe in. The point is, you don't always know what you're capable of until you give yourself the chance to learn. And no matter what direction someone's life eventually takes, there's one thing that stays true. Education plays a role in getting there. Think about the kinds of jobs people often dream about when they're young. Becoming a doctor, a teacher, a police officer, a nurse, an architect, a lawyer, a member of the military. Every single one of those paths requires learning, training, and preparation. They don't just happen by accident. That's why the idea of simply dropping out of school and somehow landing in a great life doesn't really work the way people sometimes imagine. A good future isn't something you stumble into. It's something you prepare for. You train for it. You work for it. You learn for it. And education is one of the most important tools anyone has for discovering who they are and building the life they hope to live. It's easy to think of education as something personal. Your grades, your future job, the kind of life you hope to build for yourself someday. And that part is real. Education absolutely shapes the direction your own life can take. But there's another layer to it that people sometimes overlook. What students learn today doesn't just affect their own future. It shapes the future of the entire country. Think about the kinds of challenges the world faces, diseases that scientists are still trying to cure, new sources of energy that need to be developed so the planet can stay healthy, environmental problems that require smart solutions. The knowledge and problem-solving skills people gain in subjects like science and math are exactly the tools that help solve those kinds of problems. Somewhere in a classroom today might be the student who helps develop a treatment for an illness that has troubled families for generations, or someone who designs technology that makes energy cleaner and safer for everyone. But solving big problems doesn't only come from laboratories or research centers. The lessons people learn in history and social studies matter just as much. Those subjects teach something deeper than dates and events. They help people understand how societies work, how decisions affect communities, and how fairness and freedom grow stronger over time. Those insights are what help people take on issues like poverty, crime, homelessness, and discrimination. They help build a country that's more just and more compassionate. And then there's the creativity that grows in classrooms sometimes in ways people don't expect. The ability to imagine new ideas, to solve problems in original ways, to build something that didn't exist before. That kind of thinking is what leads people to start new companies, create new technologies, and open doors to jobs that didn't exist before. So when students learn, they aren't just preparing for their own lives. They're preparing to take part in something bigger. Every skill developed, every lesson learned, every new idea sparked in a classroom has the potential to ripple outward, touching communities, strengthening the economy, and helping the country meet challenges that haven't even appeared yet. But here's something else that needs to be said honestly. Doing well in school isn't always easy. For a lot of students, the challenge isn't just the homework or the tests. It's everything else that's happening in their lives at the same time. Some students walk into class carrying worries that other people never see. Problems at home, financial stress, a feeling of being out of place. Those things can make it hard to concentrate on a lesson or care about an assignment. I understand that more than you might think. When I was young, my father left our family when I was just 2 years old. From that point on, it was my mother doing her best to raise us on her own. She worked hard, but there were times when money was tight, and we didn't always have the same things other kids had. There were moments when I felt that absence deeply. I missed having a father around. I remember feeling lonely sometimes, unsure of where I fit in. And if I'm being completely honest, there were periods when I lost focus on school. I made choices I wasn't proud of. I got into more trouble than I should have, and looking back, my life could have taken a very different direction. What made the difference was that somewhere along the way I was given second chances, opportunities to correct my path, opportunities that eventually led me to college, then law school, and to follow dreams that once felt uncertain. The person who later became my wife knows something about that kind of journey too. Michelle grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money. Neither of her parents had gone to college. Nothing about her early circumstances guaranteed an easy road, but her parents believed in hard work, and she believed in it too. Step by step, through effort and determination, she pushed herself forward until those doors that once seemed distant began to open. Stories like these are important because they reflect something real about life. Not everyone starts from the same place. Some students grow up surrounded by support and opportunity. Others face challenges that can make the path feel much steeper. Maybe someone in your family has lost a job. Maybe your neighborhood doesn't always feel safe. Maybe you feel pressure from friends to make choices you know aren't right. Those circumstances are real. They matter. They shape how hard the road can feel. But they cannot become the reason someone gives up on school. They cannot become the excuse for ignoring your work, talking back to teachers, skipping class, or walking away from education altogether. Where you are right now does not have to determine where you end up. Your story is still being written. And the choices you make today are part of what will shape the future waiting ahead. If you ever start to wonder whether effort really makes a difference, it helps to look at the lives of other students who faced obstacles and kept moving forward anyway. Take Jasmine Perez from Roma, Texas. When Jasmine first walked into school, she didn't even speak English. Imagine trying to learn new subjects while also trying to understand the language everyone around you is using. On top of that, neither of her parents had gone to college, so there wasn't a clear roadmap for what that path might look like. But Jasmine didn't let those barriers decide her future. She studied hard. She earned strong grades. Eventually, she won a scholarship to Brown University, and today she's in graduate school studying public health on her way to becoming Dr. Jasmine Perez. Then there's Andoni Schultz from Los Alamos.